Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Hello? Answer your phone, it keeps ringing.
This phone you left me doesn't work?
This is not a phone. This is an EVGA EVBot for overclocking.
Overclocking? Yeah!
Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me.
So while Agent Tiny is overclocking, let's show you a quick overview of the EVGA EVBot. So here it is, and you can see it does look similar to a cell phone. It's a very straightforward device. On the back here you see it has a tab. You can flip that up if you set it on a desk to show a display. It has 4 different profile keys. You can load different profiles. It has an up, it has a down. You use this in the selection menu. We'll show you that in a bit. An OK and a cancel. On the bottom here, here's where you plug the connectors in. On the far left hand side you have the motherboard connector. So you plug that in there and you plug it into a supporting motherboard. So the EVGA EVBot supports EVGA P55 FTW models, classified. It also supports X58 classified models and the GTX 285 classified. So where you plug the other end of the cable into depends on the motherboard. For EVGA P55's FTW, it plugs in right there. For X58 classified 4-way board, it plugs in the I/O panel here. And for GTX 285 classified, it plugs on the card right there. So now let's get it up and running and show you some of the menus and how it works. Alright, so I turned my system on. The next thing I'm going to do is plug the EVBot in. You can also just leave it plugged in, or plug it in first. You see, once I've done that, the screen immediately turns on. It lists on there that it is for the EVGA P55 motherboard. So by default, the EVBot comes flashed with an X58 ROM. So if you're using a P55, you want to make sure to download the correct EVBot firmware from www.evga.com/EVBot. So now I'm going to go ahead and press OK. And I'm going to be controlling a motherboard. So I'm going to click OK. So now I have a bunch of different options. I have voltages, I have clocks, I have op booster, and I have a hardware monitor. Under voltages, I have a wide selection of different voltages that can adjust, including CPU V-core and dim voltage. On the clocks, I can adjust my CPU host frequency, I can adjust my PCI Express frequency, I can adjust the clock skew, and the CPU amplitude. So if you want to overclock your V-clock, that would be under CPU host frequency. And you just simply press enter after you make your selection and press OK. We'll apply that. Op booster, there's different levels of op booster. Op booster stands for optimistic booster, and what it does is really allows you to maximize your benchmark. So for example, I can select level 3 here, and what that does is it'll increase the B clock by 1 megahertz every 4 seconds. So not all CPUs can run at high frequencies for a long period of time. So this really helps you maximize your CPU potential and get the most out of your system. And of course, hardware monitor, which allows you to monitor the temperatures, etc. Alright, so let's show you EVBot in action. I have an EVBot in my hand, and I have EVGA Elite running. So the first thing I'm going to do is increase the CPU host frequency, or B clock, to 140 megahertz, and it should change on Elite. So let's see. Change to 140 megahertz, and there you can see it changed in Elite to 140 megahertz, which overclocked my CPU. So now let's go ahead and adjust the CPU voltage. So I'm going to increase the CPU V-core to 1.01. And there you go. It changed. So now let's talk about the opt booster that we briefly discussed earlier. I'm going to set the opt booster to level 5. And level 5, what it does is it increases the beat clock 2 megahertz every 2 seconds. So it is running now, and if you take a look at the beat clock, you can see it went up, and now it went down. So it'll keep doing that for as long as you want, and that will really allow me to maximize the CPU to get to the absolute edge of stability and get the most 3D Mark points, Super Pi, whatever it is that you are running, get the highest points or performance possible. So another feature is the hardware monitor. So to utilize the hardware monitor, the first thing I need to do is open up Elite and select Pull Hardware Monitor to EVBot. So once I have done that, I can go on my EVBot, I can go to the hardware monitor, and I can see my vitals. I can see my CPU temp, I can see my vCore temp, I can see my CPU voltage, I can see my CPU frequency, so I can monitor this on my desk while anything's running. So a pretty cool little feature there. So now what I'm going to do is plug this into a graphics card. So you can see here I have it plugged into my graphics card. I have the cable going to the EVGA GTX 285 classified, and I'm going to select VGA 1, but you can see I have VGA 2 and 3 as well. That means I can control up to 4 different devices, motherboard and 3 VGAs. So I'm going to go to VGA, I'm going to go to vCore, and I'm going to increase my vCore to 1.21 volts. There it is, done. So that allows me to maximize my overclock on my graphics card and once again get the most performance possible. So there you have it, the EVGA EVBot. For more information on this product, please visit our website at www.evga.com/EVBot. If you have a video request or want to send me an email, send me one at videos@evga.com. Or you can be a part of our community at forums.evga.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
He doesn't overclock.